What if I told you there's a dormant energy within you that, when activated, can literally rewrite your DNA and transform every aspect of your reality? I'm not talking about an empty promise or just another fad technique. I'm talking about Kundalini, the quantum key that unlocks your spiritual potential and innate capacity for self-transformation. What you're about to discover could forever change how you view your own power. If this resonates with you, like this video now and prepare for a journey that goes beyond everything you've ever known about energy and consciousness. Modern science is finally catching up to what ancient sages have known for millennia. Bruce Lipton, a pioneer in epigenetics, demonstrated that our genes are not a fixed destiny. They dynamically respond to our consciousness and perception. This means that when you activate Kundalini, you are literally reprogramming your genetic expression. It's not mysticism, it's science. And it goes even deeper. The experiments by Smith, Johnson, and Williams on quantum entanglement have proven that there is a fundamental interconnection between all things in the universe. Kundalini energy is a manifestation of this unified field of consciousness that permeates both the cosmos and every cell of your body. Now imagine a cosmic river of liquid light, pulsating with intelligence and life, flowing through the entire universe. Within you, a spring of this river lies dormant at the base of your spine. It is a crystalline source of unlimited potential waiting to be activated. When awakened, this spring transforms into an upward flow, a vortex of light that purifies and illuminates every cell, every DNA strand, every energetic center throughout your body. This river of light is not just a beautiful metaphor. It is the most accurate description of what happens when Kundalini awakens. The dormant serpent, guarding your inner treasure. Have you ever wondered why so many people live entire decades without ever experiencing their full potential? The answer lies in a limiting pattern that affects almost all of us. Since childhood, we've been conditioned to believe that our power comes from outside, that we need external validation, perfect circumstances, some special authorization to shine. This conditioning has created an energetic barrier that keeps Kundalini dormant. It's like having an infinite treasure in your basement and living a whole life in poverty because no one told you it was there. What would happen if you discovered today that this treasure has always been within your reach? Think of those moments when you felt an inexplicable energy coursing through your body, perhaps during deep meditation, or in a moment of intense creativity, or even during an experience of profound love. That tingling sensation rising up your spine, that warmth expanding through your chest, that sudden mental clarity. These were glimpses of your Kundalini trying to awaken. But without the proper knowledge, you probably let these moments pass, thinking they were just coincidences or random sensations. The truth is that your body is a living temple of advanced spiritual technology. The ancient yogis called chakras wheels of light for a reason. They are energetic vortices that process and distribute vital energy throughout your system. When Kundalini is dormant, these vortices operate at minimal capacity, like a quantum computer functioning as a basic calculator. You survive, but you don't thrive. You exist, but you don't live fully. And the most tragic thing is that most people die without ever having experienced even 10% of what would be possible. Breathe deeply now. Feel the air entering your nostrils, descending through your throat, filling your lungs. Now exhale slowly and imagine that with this exhalation, you are releasing decades of limiting conditioning. Do this one more time. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, allow your body to relax completely. You are creating space for something new to emerge. The transition to the next level of consciousness doesn't have to be dramatic or frightening. In fact, Kundalini responds better to gentleness and clear intention than to force. If you're feeling that it's time to awaken this inner power, leave a comment with the word light, and let's create a field of collective intention here. When fear disguises itself as protection, there's a curious phenomenon that happens when we start to approach our true power. The ego, that part of the mind created to protect us, panics. It only knows the world of separation, scarcity, competition. When Kundalini energy begins to move, bringing experiences of unity and expansion, the ego interprets this as a threat to its existence. This is why so many people experience what they call Kundalini syndrome, with challenging symptoms. But here's the secret few understand. These symptoms are not caused by Kundalini itself, but by the system's resistance to change. Have you ever noticed how, whenever you're about to take a big leap in life, an inner voice emerges saying it's too dangerous, that you're not ready, that it's better to stay in your comfort zone? That's the voice of fear disguised as protection. With Kundalini, this intensifies because we are dealing with a fundamental transformation of consciousness. The physical body, accustomed to operating at lower frequencies, needs to adjust to the new vibrations. It's like tuning an old radio to a high-frequency station. At first, there might be static, interference, discomfort, but that doesn't mean something is wrong. It means the adjustment is happening. Think about how a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. During the chrysalis phase, its body literally dissolves into a primordial soup, before reorganizing into a completely new form. If the caterpillar could think, it would probably panic, thinking it was dying. But it's not death, it's metamorphosis. The same happens with the awakening of Kundalini. The old ego structures, limiting patterns, obsolete beliefs, all of this needs to dissolve to make way for an expanded consciousness. The river of light I mentioned earlier doesn't just flow upwards, it also works horizontally, cleansing and purifying every layer of your being. Imagine this river encountering a dam made of old traumas, crystallized fears, unprocessed angers. Instead of forcing its way through, the water finds small fissures and gently dissolves the barrier. Sometimes you might feel intense emotions surfacing out of nowhere. Tears for no apparent reason, anger without obvious cause, inexplicable joy. These are signs that the cleansing is happening. Place your hand over your heart now. Feel the steady rhythm, that beat that has accompanied you since before birth. Your heart is more than a biological pump. It is an energetic portal, the center of emotional and intuitive intelligence. Breathe deeply, directing the air into your heart space. Feel how it expands with each inhale. Kundalini has a special relationship with the heart, because it is through it that raw energy transforms into unconditional love and universal compassion. The Kundalini journey is not a race, it's a dance. Each person has their own rhythm, their own inner music. If you're feeling the call to explore this path more deeply, subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss the upcoming videos, where we'll delve into specific practices for a safe and harmonious awakening. The paradox of seeking that pushes away the encounter. Here's something that might sound contradictory at first, but holds a deep truth. The more desperately you seek to awaken Kundalini, the more it eludes you. It's like trying to scoop water with clenched fists. The energy responds to receptivity, not force. Many people spend years doing intense practices, forcing postures, holding their breath until they almost faint, all in the hope of having a dramatic awakening experience. But Kundalini is not a trophy to be conquered. It's a dance to be danced, a conversation to be cultivated, a relationship to be nurtured. Why does this happen? Because desperate seeking comes from the ego, from the part of us that wants to control, possess, dominate. Kundalini, being an expression of universal consciousness, cannot be possessed or controlled. It can only be invited, welcomed, honored. It's the difference between tearing a flower out by its roots or creating the perfect conditions for it to bloom naturally. When you stop chasing and start preparing, when you replace anxiety with trust, despair with patience, something magical happens. The energy that was waiting on the other side of the door finally finds an opening to enter. Think about how you behave when someone is desperate for your attention versus when someone is genuinely available but not needy. Desperate energy repels, while a centered presence attracts. The same principle applies to Kundalini. It is attracted by spiritual maturity, emotional stability, clarity of intention. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means you need to be willing to do the inner work of preparation, clearing the ground so the seed can germinate. The river of light that flows through you has its own intelligence. It knows exactly when and how to flow, to cause the most beneficial transformation possible. Your task is not to force the river to flow faster, but to remove the obstacles that impede its natural flow. Every meditation practice, every moment of self-forgiveness, every act of kindness towards yourself removes a stone from the riverbed. Over time, what was a trickle becomes a steady flow, and eventually a powerful current. There is a profound beauty in trusting divine timing. When you stop fighting the process and start flowing with it, you discover that everything was happening exactly as it should. Those years of preparation were not wasted time. They were the soil being prepared. Those challenges were not punishments. They were opportunities to strengthen your energetic vessel to contain more light. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself floating in a river of golden light. You are not swimming against the current nor trying to control the direction. You are simply allowing the current to carry you. Feel how relaxing it is to let go of control, to trust the wisdom of the river. This is the state of consciousness that invites Kundalini to awaken naturally. Surrender is not passivity. It is the highest form of action. When you surrender to the process, you are telling the universe that you trust the perfection of its unfolding. And the universe always responds to that trust. Comment surrender if you are ready to let go of control and allow the magic to happen. The inner guardians who test your readiness. Every true initiatory process has its guardians, and the awakening of Kundalini is no exception. These guardians are not external entities, but aspects of your own psyche that emerge to test your readiness. They appear as paralyzing doubts just when you are making progress. They manifest as irresistible distractions when you most need focus. They arise as unexpected conflicts that seem to throw you back to square one. But here's the revelation. These guardians are not trying to stop you. They are ensuring that you develop the necessary strength to sustain higher frequencies. Have you ever noticed how, right after a deep spiritual experience or a transformative insight, situations seem to arise that test exactly what you've just learned? It's not coincidence or cosmic punishment. It's the integration process in action. Kundalini is not interested in superficial experiences or temporary awakenings. It seeks permanent transformation, and this requires that each new frequency be anchored through practice, tested through experience, integrated through living. Imagine a musician learning a complex piece. First, they might play a few notes. Then, they can perform entire sections. But only when they can play the complete piece with their eyes closed, in any emotional state, under any circumstance, have they truly mastered the music. The same happens with Kundalini frequencies. It's not enough to have glimpses of expanded consciousness. You need to learn to maintain that expansion while paying bills, dealing with conflicts, facing everyday challenges. Ancient tantric texts speak of different levels of awakening, each with its own challenges and gifts. The first level can bring increased energy and creativity, but it can also intensify unresolved emotional patterns. The second level can open intuitive capacities, but it can also create hypersensitivity to the environment. The third level can bring experiences of cosmic unity, but it can also completely challenge your sense of individual identity. Each level is a portal that only opens when you demonstrate the capacity to handle what's on the other side. The river of light doesn't just flow in one direction. Sometimes it needs to turn back, circulate, create eddies to cleanse areas that were overlooked in the first pass. You might feel like you're regressing when in fact you're doing deeper work. It might seem like you've lost connection when in fact you're integrating on a more subtle level. The Kundalini journey is spiral, not linear. Breathe deeply and bring your attention to the base of your spine. Visualize a small golden flame there, gently pulsating. Don't try to do anything with it. Just observe. Notice how it responds to your loving attention, how it shines a little brighter when you acknowledge it without trying to control it. This is the essence of the practice. Presence without interference, attention without manipulation. The true guardians of the path are, ultimately, expressions of divine love that want to ensure your safety and success. When you understand this, You stop fighting challenges and start embracing them as opportunities for growth. Every obstacle overcome strengthens your energetic field. Every test passed increases your capacity to contain more light. If you are facing challenges on your spiritual path now, leave a heart in the comments. Let's create a current of mutual support. The golden shadow and hidden gifts. One of the least understood aspects of Kundalini awakening is what happens to our dormant gifts and talents. We're not just talking about psychic abilities or mystical experiences, although those can happen too. We're talking about genuine human capacities that have been suppressed by fear, conditioning, or simple unawareness. When energy begins to flow more freely through the system, it illuminates not only our painful shadows, but also our golden shadow, those brilliant aspects of ourselves we were afraid to express. Why are we afraid of our own light? Because we've been taught that shining too brightly is dangerous, that standing out attracts envy, that it's safer to remain small. These beliefs create energetic blocks as powerful as any trauma. Kundalini, in its infinite wisdom, works to dissolve these blocks, but the process can be unsettling. Suddenly, you might feel creative impulses you haven't felt in decades. You might discover an inner voice that wants to sing, hands that want to create, a mind that wants to teach or heal. Think of all the times you had a brilliant idea and immediately dismissed it as impossible or pretentious. Consider how many times you felt a calling to do something meaningful and silenced it with practical excuses. These moments of self-censorship created layers of energetic repression. When Kundalini awakens, these layers begin to dissolve, and what was repressed seeks expression. It can be frightening at first, as if you're losing control or becoming megalomaniacal. But it's not megalomania to recognize your innate greatness. It's spiritual honesty. The process of reclaiming your gifts can bring forth memories from lives where expressing these gifts resulted in persecution, rejection, or trauma. Many people on the spiritual path carry cellular memories of being punished for their abilities. Healers burned as witches, visionaries ridiculed as madmen, artists censored for their truth. Kundalini works to heal these ancient memories, but the process requires courage and self-compassion. Here's a liberating truth. Your gifts are not yours to hide. They are presents from the universe to the world, and you are merely the channel through which they flow. When you block your gifts out of false modesty or fear, you are not being humble. You are being selfish. The world needs what you have to offer, especially now, at this critical moment in human evolution. The river of light that flows through you carries specific codes, unique frequencies that only you can transmit. Place your hands over your solar plexus, that area just below your chest where your personal power resides. Breathe deeply into this space, imagining a golden sun shining there. With each inhale, this sun grows brighter. With each exhale, its light expands to fill your entire body. Feel the permission to shine flowing through every cell. You have the divine right to fully express who you are. The awakening of Kundalini isn't just about spiritual transcendence. It's about full embodiment, about bringing heaven to earth through the authentic expression of your gifts. Every talent you express, every gift you share, every truth you speak, adds more light to the world. And the world has never needed light as much as it does now. Type yes in the comments if you are ready to unleash your hidden gifts and shine without reservation. The alchemy of integration. We've reached a crucial point that many spiritual seekers overlook: integration. Having Kundalini experiences, however powerful they may be, is not the end of the journey. It's just the beginning. True mastery lies in integrating these elevated frequencies into daily life, transforming every mundane moment into an opportunity for spiritual practice. This requires a subtle alchemy, an art of living that few master, but that is within reach of all who commit to the process. What does it truly mean to integrate Kundalini? It means maintaining connection with the unified field while navigating traffic. It means feeling unconditional love flowing through you while dealing with difficult people. It means accessing infinite wisdom while making practical decisions about money, relationships, career. It's not about escaping the world, but about transforming it from the inside out through your awakened presence. Many people have the illusion that spiritual awakening will eliminate all of life's challenges, that once Kundalini awakens, everything will be constant ecstasy and bliss. The reality is more complex and ultimately richer. Awakening amplifies everything, including your capacity to feel pain and joy, darkness and light. But it also gives you the tools to navigate these extremes with grace. You become like the river of light, flowing through all terrains without losing your essence. Integration happens in layers, like sediments depositing on a riverbed over time. First, you might notice subtle changes: more energy in the morning, clearer insights, increased synchronicities. Then, deeper changes, old patterns that simply dissolve, relationships that transform or naturally end, new clarity about your purpose. Eventually, the very structure of your reality begins to reorganize to reflect your new frequency. This reorganization process can sometimes seem chaotic. Jobs that no longer resonate might disappear. Relationships based on old frequencies might fall apart. Life structures that served the ego might collapse. But it's not destruction. It's reconstruction. Like a house being renovated, sometimes it's necessary to tear down old walls to create wider, brighter spaces. Kundalini is the master architect of this renovation, and it knows exactly what needs to go and what needs to stay. Feel your feet touching the ground now. Even if you're sitting, visualize roots of light extending from your feet to the center of the earth. This is the key to integration: grounding. Kundalini rises, but it needs a solid base. The deeper your roots, the higher you can grow. Breathe deeply and feel the earth's energy rising through your roots, meeting the cosmic energy descending through your crown. You are the living bridge between heaven and earth. True spiritual realization is not measured by how many hours you can meditate or how many mystical experiences you've had. It is measured by how fully you can embody the love, wisdom, and power of your awakened essence in every aspect of your life. If this resonates with you, share this video with someone who is also ready to integrate the spiritual into the everyday. Now I will share with you the 3-step method for consciously working with Kundalini energy, integrating ancient wisdom with modern quantum understanding. Step 1. Embrace the totality of your being. Before any practice or technique, it is essential to establish a foundation of radical self-acceptance. This means embracing both your shadow and your light, your fears and your gifts, your humanity and your divinity. Sit comfortably and place your hands over your heart. Breathe deeply and repeat internally: I accept all parts of myself. I honor my complete journey. I am worthy of awakening. Do this for at least 5 minutes each morning. This simple practice creates the receptive, energetic field necessary for deeper work. Step 2. Extract the gift from each experience. Kundalini feeds on consciousness, and consciousness grows by extracting wisdom from every experience. At the end of each day, set aside 10 minutes to review the day's events. For each challenging situation, ask, what was the hidden gift here? What was this trying to teach me? For each moment of joy, ask, how can I expand this frequency? Write down your insights in a journal. Over time, you will realize that there are no wasted experiences, only unrecognized opportunities for growth. Step 3. Redirect your focus to service. Awakened Kundalini energy is not for personal gratification, but for evolutionary service. Each morning, after your acceptance practice, ask, how can I serve today? How can I be a channel for the greater good? Listen for the answer that comes from your heart, not your mind. It might be something simple like genuinely smiling at strangers, or something more elaborate like initiating a social impact project. The important thing is to align your awakened energy with the greater purpose of raising collective consciousness. These 3 steps form an ascending spiral. The more you accept yourself, the more wisdom you can extract. The more wisdom you accumulate, the more you have to offer in service. The more you serve, the more the energy flows, prompting even deeper levels of acceptance. It's a virtuous cycle that naturally accelerates your awakening process while benefiting everyone around you. Let's recap what we've discovered today. Kundalini is not a distant mystical concept, but a living, energetic reality within you now. It is the river of light that connects your individual consciousness to the universal quantum field. Its awakening is not a single dramatic event, but a gradual process of cleansing, activation, and integration. The challenges that arise are not obstacles, but opportunities for strengthening. Your fears are not enemies, but guardians testing your readiness. Your gifts are not optional luxuries, but evolutionary necessities that the world desperately needs. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. And who you are, in your deepest essence, is a being of infinite light temporarily focused in human form. Kundalini is simply the process of remembering and embodying this truth. Every practice, every insight, every moment of conscious presence adds more light to your system until you become a walking sun, naturally radiating the frequency of awakened love. The journey I've shared with you today is just the beginning. If you felt something stir within you as you read these words, if some dormant part began to awaken, trust that movement. Kundalini is already responding to your attention. Now is the time to nurture that response with consistent practice, clear intention, and an open heart. Leave a word in the comments that represents what you are ready to awaken in your life. It could be love, abundance, purpose, healing, any word that resonates with your soul now. Let's create a morphogenetic field of elevated intentions that supports everyone's awakening. And if you're ready to commit to this journey of transformation, subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon. In the upcoming videos, I'll share specific practices, including breathwork, visualizations, and mudras, that accelerate the safe awakening of Kundalini. We'll also explore how to work with the chakras individually, and how to recognize and navigate the signs of awakening. Remember, Kundalini is the key, and you are the portal. The river of light is flowing right now, waiting only for your conscious permission to transform every aspect of your existence. The moment is now. The power is yours. The choice is in your hands. Awaken Kundalini. Awaken your inner universe. Until the next video, keep shining and remembering who you truly are.